Right, today we are going to talk about all the different types of assets out there and when to try and get them. And I think if you've been a realistic trader of mine for a while, you probably will have already seen this before. So I'm looking at the list here. Ed's probably seen this. Rob has probably seen this. However, it's a good kick up the arse, or it's a good prod in the eye to sort of remember why and when to go for certain things, especially in the environment we're in right now with crypto, and everyone has turned into like a degenerate gambler. That was a joke, by the way. And everyone is basically out there trying to gun for the next altcoin or shitcoin that's going to rally, and everyone's missing out on the bigger picture. And remember, we're all in the wealth generation game. We're not in the crypto game. Crypto is simply a means to an end. That's all it is. It's just a very well, it is long term as well, but at the moment with the way we are going about this is just a short term play. And so for me, I'm going to be very aggressive until Christmas, but then I'm going to get up until Christmas or until Bitcoin gets to about $100,000. And then once we have one of those two, or maybe at the same time, I'm then going to start becoming a little bit more cautious. So you must always have the bigger picture. So what is the bigger picture? And I must have doodled this little doodle that I'm about to do 100 times, but I still like doing it because it's a good kick up the arse. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. And what you can do is, if you are in the WAP, you can go to the WAP portal, which you already have. Go to the WAP map, and this is all the videos that you have access to as a WAPper or a free trialer. In fact, even the free trialers, they get loads of videos. Well, that's embarrassing. I'm going to have a word of my... Oh, here we go. So it's my internet, actually. You get all these videos in the WAP trial. It's including the WAP experiment videos, which are pretty fun. But if you go to extra resources and have a little look at this spreadsheet called the WAP Planner. The WAP Planner, download the planner, save, open it up. And here we go. So this is just a little spreadsheet I knocked up years ago. And what we're going to focus on today is the WAP Planner bit. And you'll see that it's this big old spreadsheet. It looks really scary, but I'm just going to really quickly breeze through this. But it's all the different milestones that you can have in your wealth journey. So, and you may not do them in order, by the way. Sometimes people will be financially safe first before they're independent. You know, some people probably sat on large amounts of capital, don't have a clue what to do with it. So they're technically financially safe, but they're not financially independent. So these people will achieve these milestones in different orders and time. But basically, you're financially covered when all of your when your residual income totally covers your existing essentials, and the essentials are basically everything that you need to live and work. Then you're financially independent when basically all of your outgoings per month is covered by your residual income. Then you're financially buffered when you have 3 months worth of essentials in cash or liquid assets. You're financially safe when you have a year's worth, which are liquid. And you're financially free when you can basically do whatever you want. Basically whatever you want. And then you're financially abundant when you have F off money. So this is when you're like sort of 8 figures or more. And yeah. And so this is that. And so these are the different milestones. But as I said, you get to these different places at different times. And so if we were to draw a little map or a little journey that someone may take, it will look like this. You'll always have some sort of big old hiccup. Normally when you're younger, and then wee. Okay. And so you start here. And let's say up here is financial abundance, F off money. You've then got financial freedom, probably around here. And then I would actually say, in fact, let's change the order a bit. I think over the years, I think things have changed a bit. You can probably most likely be financially buffered, probably around here. You probably then become financially independent before you're then financially safe. So that's that. But before that, okay, let's start with the beginning part first. So we enter the workforce around 16, 18, 21, depending on what you do, uni or whatever. And we nearly always, at some point in our lives, enter some sort of hole. And it tends to be a financial hole. And we end up just, clawing our way, or we're trying to claw our way out of it. But a lot of people, a large percentage of the nation, never get out of this rut. And it's a downward spiral. And it really doesn't help when there are people out there like the money saving expert going, oh, you need to look for coupon vouchers and drive an extra 10 miles to get cheaper fuel, or basically he's just helping the nation shrink into their own hole, and you can never get out of any hole by shrinking into it. You've got to grow out of it. You've got to explode out of it. That's what you should aim for. So if you are in a bit of a rut, basically your first step to sort of getting out of here is a job. You really need a job. And you should ignore your pride and ego. I mean, hell, I went from an RAF pilot to serving pints in the farmhouse pub in Norwich. Because I screwed myself over. Like, I left the Air Force. Within 6 months, I was pretty much broke. And I ended up getting like 2 or 3 different jobs. And so don't turn your nose up in jobs. So, I see loads of people, there are no jobs out there. Shut up. There are loads of jobs out there. Even in this climate, it's basically, there's loads of jobs, but you probably don't want to do them. Strawberry picking, there's loads of jobs. Farm work, manual labour jobs, there's loads of jobs out there. You just need to get over your own ego. And I'll say this, like, if I hit rock bottom again, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid at becoming a strawberry picker or, whatever is, hard manual labour or whatever. It wouldn't bother me. I would just be tactical in it, and I would get a job which I could listen to audiobooks with, something which, I'd try and become a truck driver or a taxi driver, then I can listen to things whilst I'm doing stuff. Anyway, so getting a job, and then eventually, or maybe a business, or you could go straight into a side hustle, depending on your skills and experience. But the next thing you really need to get is your rainy day fund. And your rainy day fund is basically, actually, I guess it's a bit like financially buffered. I guess these two are the same thing, so let's actually just call this /financial buffered. Try and get 3 months worth of OPEX, basically. So 3 months worth of outgoings just sat in either cash or in a liquid asset. So, and when I say liquid asset, something where you can get your money within a week. And so let's make these a little bit smaller. I'm going to move this over here. 3 months OPEX, operational expenditure. But then, eventually, once you got this done and you are starting to save some money, you're reducing your outgoings, etc., you should then end up with an investable pot. And this is where we start getting into the whole world of investing. So if you look at the WAP, it shows you how to, break it up into the different pots. But I don't really want to talk about the pots today. I want to talk about the types of assets that you can play in. So you've been working hard, you've been saving up some money, you got your rainy day fund sorted out. You now have an investable pot, and you're probably thinking, right, what the hell do I play with? And there's lots of different things that you can play with. And again, I'm seeing a few familiar faces here. If you've seen this before, I'm sorry. It's just that I think it's worth. It's a timely reminder for people, because everyone's getting too head over heels with crypto. So I just want people to maintain the bigger picture. So with your investable pot, you've got 2 sorts of things. You have capital appreciating assets, and then you have cash flowing assets. Let's just move these aside. I need more space in a minute. Right. So, what? Believe it or not, there are 2 types of assets, and capital appreciating and cash flowing. So a capital appreciating asset is basically everything that you're probably thinking of. When I if you were to ask any random Joe on the street, name the different types of assets out there, I guarantee you, and I've actually done this. There's YouTube videos of me doing it. People will just reel off a whole bunch of capital appreciating assets. So they'll say things like stocks, buying a house, jewelry, funds. Oh no, maybe not fund. But yeah, basically anything. So crypto, typically, ignoring staking and stuff like that. But it's anything that you're hoping that you buy low and sell high. Okay, and there's a lot of hope. You're hoping you buy at the right time. You're hoping you put enough, the right amount of money in this asset, and you're hoping you'll switch on enough to know when it's the high, so you can then get out. So hopium is your basically tool of investing here, which isn't a good tool to use. And the thing with capital appreciating assets is that you're parking your capital, which isn't that good. You got to be very careful if you're going to park capital into something. You got to be very aware of what you're actually doing and how long you're going to keep it in there. And and if you think, oh yeah, this is only going to be tied up for 2 years, just double it. You need to really, just add some fudge factor to that and go, right, it's probably a 2-year play, but it could be really bad. It would be a 4-year play. So that's capital appreciating assets. And then you have cash flowing assets, and it's basically anything that derives a spin-off, a cash flow. That's basically, the hint's in the name. And so, yes, you could have property. So if you're doing buy-to-lets, rental properties, Airbnbs or whatever like that, you can have stocks, because some stocks pay divvies. But when you look at the yield on a divvy, it's just a kick in the face. It's pretty much nothing these days. You could lend money. That's a cash flowing asset in itself. You can do crypto, and the yield on some of the cryptos is really good. You could buy USDC, so the Coinbase stable coin, stake it and get not stake it, you effectively lend it, and you get something like 16% APR, which is just nuts. So there's crypto. What else is there? There's business. And there's not that much. And I guess in terms of cash flowing assets, these are the big ones. Now, if you do business properly, yes, you'll get a cash flow, but it'll also be a capital appreciating assets, because it's something you're growing to then sell. Just like if you have a property empire and you've got a nice cash flow from it, guess what? It'll be a business in itself which you can sell. So they're the different types of things. So whenever I'm looking at the world of investing, I've got some spare capital, I simply go, right, what do I want? Now, normally 9 times out of 10, when I say what do I want cash flow. I don't give a shit about capital appreciating assets. It's too much hope and luck involved over here. Whereas you have more control in cash flowing assets, and most billionaires always defer to cash flowing. And if you look at how people get rich, it's cash flowing. Look at every billionaire, millionaire out there. It's they did it via cash flowing assets, namely business. And so I always come back to business. Now, in terms of where you are in your wealth generation journey, a lot of people think, oh no, I'm not in a wealth generation journey, I'm just doing my thing. Well, tough shit, you're in it whether you know it or not. And really, you are, I guess, it's a fuzzy line, but I would say you are in your aggressive wealth accumulation phase of your life. Probably when you, at the lowest, at the minimum, when you're financially independent. But there are some caveats to that. As I say, financial independence isn't what everyone makes it to be. I mean, I was financially independent probably 6 years ago, but do I still have cash flow issues? Yeah, I do. It's because it's mainly all business related. But you could have, you could massively reduce your outgoings, live in a caravan, be off grid pretty much, and have, I don't know, £200 a month in outgoings, and then all you would need to do to become financially independent is get £200 a month in income from your assets. So, hell, what is it? So if I had £200 a month, 200 times 12, divide that by, I don't know, 0.5. Yeah, so you could have £48,000. You could dump it into some, bulletproof fund or whatever, something really gentle that gives you 5% per year, and that will generate your 200 quid a month. There you go, you're financially independent. But it's only because you got really low outgoings. So yeah, but basically you're in your aggressive phase over here until you're financially independent, but actually getting some proper cash flow through. And then over here it's all about preservation. Or if you're, like 70 years old plus. And so what you do, it really depends. If I'm in the preservation phase of my life, which I'm not, I would then stop doing a lot of the things that I'm doing. But I'm not. I'm firmly in the aggressive phase. So yes, I am financially independent, but for me, my little benchmark is that it's when you're financially free. So really, I'm going to be aggressive all the way up until I'm financially free. And I've got my personal targets, which, and so where does crypto sit? Crypto is, I think if you're in crypto, you should do it for both. You should have a whole bunch of capital appreciating cryptos where you're hoping for it to moon. And even better, like something like Polkadot. Polkadot is a blue chip crypto. It's a great project. And you can stake it and get like 12%. Aaron has just said on Zoom, hey, so I've not been on for a while. Hope all is good. Is the Clubhouse one stopped now? Zoom and Facebook going forward? Yeah. Clubhouse, I know a lot of people rant and rave about it, but I'm not an audio person. I like doodling. And I think I can convey messages a lot better via doodles. So yeah, Facebook and Zoom from now on. Sorry, Clubhouse. So yeah, that's it so far. Right, I'm just going to check the chat box just before I go on. So let's have a look. Not too many. So Nick KE has said, so glad you said that about the money saving expert. I've been banging on that about for years. If you make 20k a year, it doesn't matter how much you save, you'll only ever have 20k max. Yeah, or you won't even have that, because what is your take home? It'll be less than that. It's all about wealth creation, passive income streams, grow out, don't save your way out. Yeah, completely agree. So yeah, again, if you have any questions, please just pop them in the chat boxes, wherever you are. So, where were we? Yeah, we are all in our aggressive phase of our, wealth generation journey. And this then leads us to, like, I get questions going, hey, Simon, I've got a spare £5,000, I don't know what to do with it. Or I've got a spare 500 grand, I don't know what to do with it. And believe it or not, the answers are somewhat similar. Maybe not in that example, £5,000 or 500 grand, but like the main things you really do need to sort out are your rainy day fund. You really do need 3 months worth of liquid assets or cash for when shit hits the fan. I mean, hell, like the other day I got a £5,000-6,000 energy bill. I think it worked out to £1,700 a month for electricity. Now I don't know whether it's true or if there's a meter error. I've requested a meter reading or a meter sort of check, because I don't know how I'm spending 1,700 quid a month on electricity. Mind you, we've got underfloor heating upstairs and downstairs. So maybe, I don't know. But I mean, that would, even if I have to spend the £5,000, it won't dent me because I've got 3 months worth of OPEX. Whereas if you didn't, you'd be screwed. Emily Jew, such good point regarding ego. I need to get over mine when I relocate this summer. Yeah. Oh man, like it's a bit different for me because I'm sort of like, I've got my roots in. I've got 2 young kids and stuff, and so I can't really be as gung ho. But I've got a friend who's just broken up with his girlfriend. He's in a really cool country. He's dynamic. He's a switched on bloke. He's got a great background, and there's some parts of me going, oh man, I'd love to be in your boots right now. He isn't like set up financially, but I was having a chat with him. I was like, oh man, you're so lucky, because I really look back at my older time, when I was really hustling and grinding, I don't know, like a decade ago, And I look back with it with fond memories, and I was like, man, you should just, just have some fun, go traveling, do, work in bars once they all open up, or, just enjoy life a little bit, because he was in a long-term relationship and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, ego is a killer. It really is. Ego is a funny thing. I mean, we'll have to have another live session about ego itself, because I think people go they're very binary these days. You have some, not the hippies. I need a better word. The ultra Zen people saying all ego is bad. You should have zero ego. Blah blah blah. And then you have people on the other scale who let's take a Wall Street fund manager who has all ego. I think you shouldn't be that too binary. I do think ego is actually a good thing. When in small amounts, you do need ego to how can I put? No, this is another topic. This is a completely other topic. Before I go ranting off on something else, let's get back to Wealth Gen. Let's look at the questions. Okay, Timothy Barton. Hey Tim, you often say as a gamer that it's how you think of things. As a non-gamer, can you recommend a game to help develop that kind of thinking? Yeah, Age of Empires. Join us. We've got like 15 of us in this WhatsApp group. Do Age of Empires. What I'll do, in fact, tomorrow, I'm going to make a little note. I'm going to do a Age of Empires wealth generation teaching session. Not how to play the game, but the learning points that you can get from Age of Empires. And believe it or not, there are loads. So you're going to bear with me, but we'll do that tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to write this down because, again, self-awareness is something, and my self-awareness is I have zero memory. So I have to use my Google Calendar as a secondary brain. Stand by. AOE live sesh. Done. I will remember that now. So... yeah, okay, let's get back to the wealth generation stuff. Bijan property in Florida is doing well, 15% up this year due to not being in lockdown. Cool. And he said, trying to convince my friends not to use trading 212 or plus 500. Good man, they are shit for buying stocks. What's a good way to explain to them where's the best place to buy Tesla stock? So, yeah, it's interesting. So, you have to be careful with all the platforms you use with. So, for example, a lot of people are using eToro or plus 500 or trading 212 to buy crypto, and you're not actually buying crypto. That you're buying like a little tracker. It's like people that have a Revolut account go, oh yeah, you can buy crypto on my Revolut. No, you can't. You're buying like little bits of paper. You don't own any crypto, and it's the same thing. So you just have to do a bit of Googling with whatever platform you're doing, because what's most likely going to happen is that you'll be buying CFDs of something. So I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I looked at trading 212 or plus 500, but a lot of the time it says buy Tesla. You're actually just buying a CFD, a contract for difference. You're not buying the real thing. Personally, I just use Hargreaves and Lansdowne. It's not the best platform on the planet, but it's got my ISA, it's got my SIP there. I just keep it all in one place. And a lot of people are really anally obsessed about fees, like when they're buying stocks. And I'm like, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Seriously, if you're buying like Tesla and you're just going to leave it for 3 to 5 years, it doesn't matter if you're going to spend £10 fees buying Tesla or £15 fees. It doesn't matter. It's negligible. If, however, you're going to be an active trader, yeah, then have a little look at it. But when I buy my Tesla stock, I'm just going to sit there on it. I'm actually just waiting for a re-entry at the moment. I'm not in Tesla, but I will be. Right, let's have a look at the other chat stuff. So Alexander, crypto question. Okay, maybe I want to get back to this wealth gen stuff. You say that Bitcoin is pulling all altcoins up, and their prices will catch up later on and possibly overrun Bitcoin this year. In fact, many alts already have overtaken Bitcoin. However, on yesterday's declining of Bitcoin, all other coins declined as well. Not all of them. A lot of them, not all of them. Some even in the higher proportion. How would you explain that? aren't they supposed to be independent from each other? We cannot rely on altcoins and should watch Bitcoin as main asset. So not all altcoins faltered yesterday. A lot of them did, because it's just everything, it's nothing actually to do with Bitcoin really. It's all to do with stocks. So what happens, or even the US dollar. If the US dollar, for example, has like, 1 second, I'm just going to log in. If the US dollar has like major rallying, what that's going to mean is that everything dollar denominated is going to fall. So, if you look at Bitcoin against the dollar, let's have a look at the dollar. Did it actually rally or not? I'm curious. I haven't actually opened my charts much. No, nothing really happened on the dollar. What about stocks? Just quickly have a look. Yeah, so stocks, no, okay. So yesterday was something different. So normally what you see is when you have a big crypto correction or like a pullback, it's normally because stocks have had a bit of a sell-off, like over here. When we saw this big old sell-off, guess what happened with crypto? Crypto sold off as well. But yesterday we had no stock sell-off or a strong US dollar, which meant that something actually happened in the crypto space. So no doubt there were, I don't pay attention to the crypto news because it's just futile, but something probably happened yesterday. I don't know, someone said, oh, we're going to ban Bitcoin, and then everyone went, oh, sell. And don't forget, a lot of the market is moved by algorithms. So high frequency trading, and there's lots of different types of high frequency trading bots out there. There's some bots which are reactive to the news, so they'll see it, they'll read. So the actual robot will read the news announcement, in text format, like almost instantly, and then place thousands of trades before the news anchor has actually read it, because a lot of announcements are dished out on RNS feeds and stuff like that, and the bots just assimilate it and know which way to go until they start selling, and before we know it, we have us lot, a few hours later go, oh my god, everything's falling, let's sell, and then that just exacerbates the move, and so the market just carries on going down, and then and this is why yesterday I said this is just actually a little dip that it's a potential buying opportunity. So if you look at Bitcoin, it didn't really fall that much, but I was looking at Ether actually. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I could just have a little top up, because I have some funds on the sidelines waiting to pull back in, but this isn't the pullback I really want. I want another big one like this back in February. That was beautiful. So yeah, but guess what? Everything has pretty much bounced back. It's getting there. Like, so ADA, nothing really happened. That's what happened with Binance. I know Binance had a bit of a tumble, but look, it's back up. That's what happens with crypto. It's just a little spook in the market, and it's natural. You can't have just green bars all the time. You'll always have red bars. So yeah, Polkadot looked horrendous at one point. Polkadot, it was all the way down here at $38, and it looked really bearish. But guess what? Well, it's still there. Well, it's about 40. But you always have to zoom out and go, right, what was the bigger picture here? Yeah, it's still going up. Same with Binance. Binance has been great for me. I got in at $38. It's now $400. Anyway, let's move on. Johnny Peters, it's Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Mike Freeman, what do you think of the government-backed... Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through to go do the questions in a bit. I just want to finish the wealth generation stuff before we move on. So I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, and the thing is, I've studied the whole world of assets and all the different assets there are. Everything from baseball cards to buying watches or prestige cars or whatever. And I always end up circling back to the best asset on the planet, which is business. Honestly, if you're looking for something to get you out of this level and over into this level, you need business. Honestly, you cannot, there's no other way around it. And I've had some harsh wake-up calls. Like, for a long part of my life, I thought trading would be a way to get out of this stage and over here. But guess what? Here's the cold, hard, brutal reality. It isn't. You will not get rich from trading. I'm going to say that again. You will not get rich from trading. Now that may seem really crazy because I am the realistic trader and I have a whole bunch of students, but you have to understand that trading is an amplifier, and you have to match it and you have to combine it with a cash flowing asset. Now again, that sounds weird. You're like, what? Trading is a cash flowing asset? Well, no, for 99% of the people it's not. So what happens is you need to make money. I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment. You need to make money via a hardcore dedicated cash flowing asset, i.e. business. And then when you generate cash from that, you then need to then grow it. Okay, so this is all I do. I make money, most of my money from businesses. I then have surplus cash flow and capital from that, and then I use my trading skills to then grow it and simply amplify it. So you could be the best trader on the planet, and I could give you a £5,000 trading account, and you're not going to get rich anytime soon. You can make, hell, 20% a year every year with your eyes closed. But if you start with a £5,000 account, it's going to take you a long freaking time to get any, proper capital out there. However, if I started you off on £100,000, all of a sudden, you've just accelerated through that learning curve. Oh, not the learning curve, the exponential curve. If you make 20% a year and you start with £100,000, you're going to be rolling in 8 figures pretty darn soon. Whereas it'll take 40 plus years to get to the same sort of capital level if you started with a smaller account. So, and this is why I say 99% of people, they are starting out with a £1 to maybe a £5,000 trading account and then pinning all of their hopes on trading. Well, it won't work. You have to get business. You have to get into business. I cannot stress that enough. Look at every person on the top 100 Forbes list. How do they get their capital? Now, you have to just ignore all of the inheritance people. They didn't earn shit. So ignore all the inheritance people, where they got their business from their daddy or whatever, or their granddad or whatever. Look at all the people who actually earned their way onto the Forbes 100 list. It's from business. It really is. I mean, look, check out Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I love Ryan Reynolds. He's my favourite actor by far. And yes, I even like The Green Lantern. I thought that was a good movie. But hey, I guess I'm a film yob. I have no taste. I love Avengers. Mind you, they're good movies. People knock the Avengers. They're good, I think. Anyway, yeah, so Ryan Reynolds, if you look at his net worth, what do you think he made his money in? Where do you think he made the majority of his wealth? I'm not going to bother with the Facebook stuff because it's going to take like a minute for you to answer. Anyone on Zoom? Where do you think he made his wealth? Now, I probably set this up incorrectly because you're probably thinking, oh, this is a trick question. Yeah, Sarah, spot on, gin. He made his money in business. Yes, he made, various millions with his acting career, but he spent, 20 odd years acting and then became, probably worth 10 to 100 million or no, 10 to 50 million dollars. But he then got into business and he's basically, I think he made something like $400 million from his aviation gin business. Ryan Reynolds aviation gin sell. Oops, got my caps locked on. Blah, blah, blah. The deal is worth $6 including patient. Okay, how much did he get? Yeah, so Ryan Reynolds' aviation gin company, he sold it to Diageo, which is a massive drinks company, for $610 million. And I think he walked away with about 400 maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'll have to Google it. But he walked away with, $300 million or something stupid like that. And guess what else he's in? He's got other things. He's got Mint Mobile, and he's just doing the same stuff. So it's business. Business is the way forward. So, yeah, and this is why you need the WAP. Again, another shameless plug, but I honestly cannot stress enough how much you can learn from the WAP. I mean, it's like, do the 30-day free trial. It's free, obviously, and you'll learn an absolute truckload there. So, that's it really. There's so many different threads I can go off from this, but I'm looking at the time. It's been roughly half an hour. I think it's time to answer some questions. Okay, so where are the questions gone? Let's. I wasn't even sharing my screen. I thought I was. You haven't missed much. Oh yeah, Rob Clooney with his tequila, and I think Hugh Jackman's got a coffee company as well. They're all doing it. They're all sort of branching out into business, and I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, if you were a celebrity, you got to leverage that fame and put it into a business, just like Ryan Reynolds, like with Mint Mobile, etc. Right, let's look at the questions now. So, Mike, what do you think of the government-backed 95% mortgage scheme? Will this inflate the property market or lead to mass negative equities? I think it's just a little plaster on an internal wound. It's like it won't be long before we see 100% mortgages or 100 or more. Like whenever the property market starts to deflate a bit, guess what the government does? They try and reflate it by doing all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's the writing's on the wall. Whenever you look at any big crashes, 1987, 2000, 2008, there was always trouble in the property market. I mean, if you go back to 1992, like when we also in that time we had another crash, the UK dropped out of the ERM, the European Rate Exchange Mechanism, and interest rates shot up to 17%. It was just insane. So yeah, I don't deal with property, and I've mentioned this many times. Why I don't buy a house, I rent, and why I don't buy property. It's too slow for me. It's far too slow. So, and again, I think this is worth. And I mean, I get loads of trolls. I think I had a troll on one of my Facebook ads the other day going, "Oh, Siam doesn't even rent. He doesn't even buy a property. He just rents. He's not, kid rent." Let's have a look. And people use it as like a negative slur against me. I'm like, yeah, I rent, but I do it for good reasons. So if you go to YouTube and type Siam kid rent and then find this one, renting versus buying. Yes, it should trigger some people. And then part 1 and then part 2. And you'll see exactly why I don't buy. It's just a huge gross waste of capital.
I then scoured the
So
£2.5 million.
In fact, screw this. I'm just going to put this. I'm going to share the links in the chats. I'll put it in the chat. But sorry, Facebook, I can't share it with you folks because I'm doing this through Zoom. So, but yeah, just YouTube, Siam Kid Rent, and then you'll find these. Let's just do this. There we go. It's in the Zoom chat. Definitely just save it to your watch later list for sure. Right. Right, let's look at the other questions. Rob, when are you looking to get back into Tesla? What are you looking for to get back into Tesla? Ah, yeah, okay. So for me, I'm always doing seesaws. So I like leveraging other things. So for example, I don't have any Bitcoin because I've got lots of Ether. So I'm expecting Ether against Bitcoin to go massively up. As you can see here, I saw compression. I said it was going to break out to the upside, and I'm waiting until the Ether Bitcoin ratio gets to 0.1, and then I'll just probably flop over to Bitcoin back then. And guess what? It broke out. We then had a bit of a pullback. This is what's called Kobo, kiss off, bugger off, and it's now starting to make its way back up. And so for me, I'm looking at Tesla, and I'm sort of leveraging that against ARB. So I've got money in my ISA, and the money in my ISA is basically my Tesla fund. Whatever money is in that ISA is going into Tesla because I just want to sit and leave it because I'm not going to trade it. So I'm only putting money into Tesla which I can afford to leave for 5-10 years. And so at the moment, my what is it? I'm going to have to log into my Hargreaves standby. Again, I really don't bother with my Hargreaves. I barely remember the passwords. I logged in the other day, so I do remember it. So if you look at my Hargreaves, I've got 30 odd K in my ISA, and what is it in my SIP? Again, I can't touch on my SIP till I'm old. Which is just hilarious because I put 8,000. I only had 8,000 or 9,000 pounds in my SIP, and I was like, sweet, I can put it into an Ether tracker. So I just dumped it and left it in my Ether tracker sometime in 2020, and that 8,000 or 9,000 pounds is now 62 or 70 in total. But again, I can't touch this until I'm old, or older. Sorry, you're not old when you're 55 or whatever. But yeah, so in terms of the the ISA, I've just got money. So this 30 odd grand is. I'm just going to put this into Tesla, but at the moment I'm in Argo. So this is like a blockchain tracker. So it should, in theory, track the price of Bitcoin, and I guess it has. And all I'm looking for with this little seesaw here is I'm waiting for a scenario where ARB is going up, and at the same time Tesla is going down. Because what that then means is I could then sell ARB and then get more Tesla for the same amount of money, if that makes sense. So, yeah. And I think it's probably worked. I haven't calculated it for a while. The last time I was in Tesla, I think I only had 69 Tesla shares. What does that work out to? So Tesla, what is it now? Let's have a little look, see. Where's Tesla gone? Come on. So Tesla's sat at 670. Right, so 670. And how much ARB do I have? Let's do a little calc. So I've got, what is it? 37,207 in ARB. 1 second. 37,207 GBP to USD. That gives me 51,181 in dollars. 1 second. So 51,181 in US dollars, which means if I was to sell all of my ARB right now, obviously ignoring fees and stuff, so 51,181 divide that by 670. There we go. Yeah. So I guess that trade's worked all right so far, because if I sold all of my ARB right now and then bought into Tesla, I would now have 76 Tesla shares compared to 69, which doesn't seem much of an uplift, but that's what, 7 divide that by 69. That's a 10% uplift. So I've grown the amount of Tesla stock I basically have over the last couple of months just by doing this ARB thing. However, I'm waiting for a better situation. So yes, right now that little flip-flop, that little seesaw has worked. And by the way, you're probably thinking, oh, you've only made 7 extra Tesla shares. That's not much. Well, what is the price of Tesla? 670 times 7. So already I've got 690,000, worth of extra Tesla stock for free just by doing a little flip-flop. But in the future, where I do see Tesla being, at least sort of $5,000 in the future potentially, when level 5 autonomy and the utility energy stuff comes online, and their shared autonomous vehicle, robo taxi stuff comes out. Like I do see that as an easy target, and so then those extra 7 Tesla shares I've got times $5,000 effectively turns into a $35,000 trade. So it's an appreciating trade. Like the profit I get from this trade grows as Tesla grows, vice versa, obviously. But at the moment, I'm waiting for more of an uptick in ARB and more of a downtick in Tesla, and then I'll flip flop back into Tesla. So that's that. Hopefully that makes sense, Rob. Rachel, I'm not sure which Rachel this is, but hey Rachel, that's the thing. Famous people have their fame as massive leverage. Us average Joes have nil leverage or not sizable leverage. Yeah, I completely agree. So we got to work harder. So us having zero fame or leverage or whatever, we just got to stick to the basics. You just got to go through this journey. Make sure you have a job. That's your first step. If you have a job, aim to try and set up a side hustle. I mean, hell, get an extra 300 quid a month from a side hustle. That's all you should really aim for to begin with, and then grow it if you can, and then just work up through here and then become a business, and then get into business. I cannot stress that enough. Oh, there's a loud banging at the door. I'm just gonna have to wait. They'll deliver it tomorrow, won't they? Yeah. So That's that. So Jamie, you mentioned crypto stablecoin staking as cash flow. How can we trust the crypto is safe? Really good question. You basically can't. You have to then trust the organization behind the stablecoin. So if you take USDC, that's Coinbase. So you're basically trusting the strength of Coinbase. Or if you buy Binance Coin and then stake Binance, which I am doing, you're basically trusting the stability and the future prospects of Binance. Personally, I think Binance is a stronger company than Coinbase, but and I've got the PAG, the potential appreciation growth, with Binance Coin. So yeah, I buy the Binance. So if Binance goes up in price, I've got the PAG from that. But then because I'm staking it, I'm getting all of the the yield from that as well. So. The next part of your question, like there is the Anchor protocol that pays 20% annual on USDT, so it's Tether. Don't know if it's safe or iffy. I'd say it's on the iffy side. Same with other places. I guess not your key, not your crypto. Completely agree. Well, it's not Rachel. This is Jamie. Wait a minute. I'm getting confused. Oh, so Rachel was the celebrity question, yeah. Jamie was with the crypto question. Sorry, got my head confused there. Yeah, so you just got to trust. I mean, I definitely wouldn't buy Tether and then try and stake that or, lend that. Yeah. And it's the same with all the lending protocols like Aave, Compound, Ripio, all these, Nexus, I think. Yeah, they're really good. And I was playing with Aave for a while, but you're simply dumping your crypto on another platform, which is, you don't have, I guess you do have access. This is why I like Aave. Although the fees absolutely bugger you senseless, that you still have access to the crypto. Yes, you're parking it on the Aave platform, but no one else owns that. You still have access to it, but yeah, it's the fees that will get you on Aave. Ethereum really needs to sort out their gas fees. It's ridiculous. So when Habib made this post in the RT group yesterday, it was hilarious, but it's spot on. It's like the best crypto joke I've seen in a while. Wait, here we go. It'll be here somewhere. Come on, here we go. This one. It's hilarious. And it's so true. The gas fees on Ether is just ridiculous at the moment. So, that's that question. Rob said, do you look at this often then? I look at it probably every few days. Well, whenever I look at my trading view, it's there in my watch list. So I just, I check my crypto, as in I open TradingView once a day, basically. So if I share my screen again, like I'm pretty chilled out. So I simply click TradingView up here. My watch list, basically every crypto I have is over here on my right, and I simply scroll through it. So yesterday when I was scrolling through this, it was a sea of red because we had that big red bar. But look at it now, it's a sea of green. Sorry. And I can quickly see, 12%. IOTA has gone up 12%. Nice. Great. We're pretty much at an all-time high. Whereas everyone was shitting their pants yesterday. And it's the same with loads of others. Actually. Yeah. So most of them are pretty much back to all-time highs. Ripple's still getting up there. I haven't got much Ripple. I still think it's a shit coin. But yeah, VeChain's doing nicely. In fact, Ontology, which is one of my babies. They're all doing very, very nicely, especially DOT and Engine Coin. It's just ridiculous. File is now falling down, but that's actually a good. Actually, Filecoin moving down is actually a great buying op for me, or for anyone really. It's something I want to get back into again. Well, I am in it, but I want more. So anyway. So that's that. What else do we have? Rachel. Oh, no. I'm just scrolling up through the messages here. Rachel, Tesla is a future company, i.e. they're going to increase long-term into the future, so it's a dump and wait share. Yeah, I completely agree. And at some point, I want the majority of my wealth or my liquid wealth in Tesla. I really do. If Tesla stock is good enough for Elon to have his whole net worth in it, it's good enough for me. So, and yeah, Tesla is not a car company, by the way. Tesla is not a car company. It's an energy company. Please remember that. And it hasn't even touched its energy sort of capabilities yet. Tesla will take out like Eon and npower. Mark my words. So, and all those other sort of energy companies. Rachel, I run 2 businesses. Oh, which Rachel is this? In fact, I'm going to look at the list. I know a few Rachels, and I know a few business Rachels, so I was wondering which business Rachel this is. I run 2 businesses. I have a rainy day fund that I add to when I can. I'm just starting with my investing pretty much past year. I'm up approximately 50% on investment so far. That's great. I don't know what you've been playing in. Sounds like a crypto or cryptos. So not bad. Just working on compounding all of that. Cool. Yeah, it's good. And also, don't forget, like, crypto, for me, the way I look at crypto is simply a gift from heaven, if there is a heaven, to help with my businesses. Because funding is tough. I know they say, oh, it's really easy to get a loan these days. But if you're like an average Joe like me, it's really hard. And I've got a bad credit rating. Like, I don't know why. I haven't defaulted on anything. But and so for me, I've made lovely profits on my crypto. But the question I'm asking myself pretty much every freaking hour is, do I take it out now and just plow it all into the businesses? Because I know how much money I can make by injecting a big chunk of money into my businesses. And so I'm always weighing up, what is the PAG, the potential appreciation growth in my cryptos, compared to if I just bung an extra 300 grand into my businesses right now. Or the other question is, like, because my cryptos so far have made over 300k profit at the moment, I'm thinking maybe this is a great time to start one of my moonshot projects. Maybe. Like, imagine what sort of business you could start with where you're starting with 300 grand cash. That means you can start with a team of 10 off the bat straight away, and you can go after something chunky. And also my schooling project is also there as well. But the thing with the schooling project is per ardua, by the way. So if you're ever bored, my little, I guess, whether you call it a manifesto or not, I guess it's just like I've got a lot more behind the scenes, but all we've done so far is just, it's perardua.org. This is where I'm sort of coming from. It's not the best website in the world, but this is what my schooling project will be about. But the reason I haven't, so I think someone, I'm so sorry what your name was, who asked me. They said, Simon, why don't you just take your crypto profits now and start your schooling project? And it's a absolutely cracking question, because I have, in my own opinion, I've been dicking around with my schooling project for too long. So I'll just type it in the chat. Perardua.org. So I have been delaying and dicking around on my schooling project for too long, but the reason being is that I don't have the proper business model just yet. And it's tough, because to get the bare bones nursery or primary school that I want to set up to begin with, it needs a minimum OPEX of 25 grand a month. So what happens with all these schools, all these fancy new schools, is they'll go and get like a lottery loan, lottery funding, or some sort of funding, whatever. They'll raise a whole bunch of money, and then they set up the school. But the thing is, all of these new fancy schools are loss-making entities. They're not profit or break-even making entities. And so the moment they run out of funding, the school dies. And what I don't want to do is, put a whole big chunk of my life into a new schooling project and then be completely subservient to funders. And so the business, or the school in itself, needs to be run like a business, and so it needs to be break-even at best. But the problem I'm getting is two things. When you look at all the data of learning, the optimum class size is 15 kids and 2 teachers. And I've done a lot of research into this. Whether originally I thought the best class size would be 5 or 6 kids and 1 teacher, but it's not. It's 15 kids and 2 teachers, and that way you can then break up the class into 3 groups, and then you have 2 teachers, supervising the learning and all that sort of stuff, and then you have, it's all sorts. It's really cool what you can do with the class of 15 kids and 2 teachers. So what that means is if I've got a minimum OPEX of basically minimum outgoings of 25 grand a month, I need to make 25 grand a month. Which means and 25 grand a month divided by 15 kids, no one's going to do that. No one's going to pay, what is that? 1,600 quid a month for this super duper school. Well, they may. I mean, maybe I could find 15 parents to pay 1,600 quid a month. Because, I mean, part of the outgoings is having a good chef and doing, good nutrient food. Again, most schools spend less than £1 per meal per kid. I mean, what sort of crap are we feeding our kids at school? If the school's only paying £1, for lunch per kid. And sometimes it's less. So, yeah, like, I'm not going to be feeding my kids with, pounds worth of, bird's eye fish fingers. Oh, I do, by the way. But what I want for this school is the best. So, to be honest, I haven't got the business model right. So, and look, I do have ways of getting the business model working, but then I'm making sacrifices. So, I could then sacrifice everything not everything, but I could, go and get 30 kids and get, who are paying £1,000 a month. That'll make it work. But then your OPEX goes up. If I've got 30 kids, it's 2 extra teachers I want that I'll need to hire. And the thing is with the teachers, I don't want to pay normal teaching rates. I want our teachers at Per Ardua to be superstars. I want Per Ardua teachers to be the freaking rock stars of the teaching world. So I need to pay them like a starting salary of like 60 grand a year. We need to put teachers on the same pay level as freaking solicitors and economists and banker wankers. So, and we're not going to, we need teachers to be our role models, not fucking footballers. So, yeah, I'm still struggling with the business model. I'm not prepared to sacrifice some of the ideals to make it work, because then it just turns into a business, and I don't want it to just be a business. So, yeah, it's a tough one. Sorry, that's my school rant. I will get into it. So let's move back onto the questions. Whew, chill out, Siam. Jamie, I'm on a seesaw debating whether to sell crypto and use money to put into business or hold for PAG. Yeah, so Jamie, in fact, yeah, let's continue with that thread. So with myself, that seesaw is, profits into business or whatever. Where I'm sat right now is I'm going to continue being aggressive with my crypto until Christmas time, January. And I think when you look at, the main models out there, we should see a cooling off. I'm not saying a massive crash. I'm saying cooling off. So probably 30% correction. And then it may just hover and go sideways for a bit. So I think we'll start cooling off around January. So I'm going to keep my crypto till January. Then I'll extract back into the businesses. And I may just extract it all into Tesla. Who knows? Everything changes. You've got to be fluid. So, Rachel, getting into energy big time right now. I won't be one of those. Lol. Sorry, out of context. I'm reading these too late. Yeah, there's an unfortunate camera on at the moment in the Zoom. So, hey mate, don't know if you can use it. Yeah. So Rachel said, a lot of schools get funding for bad behaved kids, which is disgusting. One of my businesses is for children and education for parents or future parents. Nice. We need parents to be our role models, not teachers. This is one reason I started my business. Share your URL. Put it in the link. We all want to see that. I do, at least. Jamie, would you then sell all your crypto and exit? Probably not. What I may actually do is I'll probably sell... In fact, Jamie, that's a cracking question. So in the... so let's say fast forward time, it comes to January. And I go, right, it's time to exit, folks. What I'll do... I'll most likely sell my alts, all the... I'll sell all the capital appreciating alts, as in the alts that I've gone into because I want it, to double or whatever. And what I may actually do is then rebalance the whole portfolio into blue chip cryptos that stake. So I don't know, let's just say in January time, I'm sat on 500,000 in profit, whatever. I'll sell and exit most of the alts which have mooned by then, or whatever, and then I'll just plonk that 500k into staking one. So Binance, Ether by then maybe, who knows, Ethereum 2.0 or Cardano for sure. And that way, even during the cooling off period, I'll still be accumulating the staking benefits. Because remember, if you're staking a coin, your reward, your ROI is in the coin, not in money. You don't get sterling or dollars when you're staking a coin. So I'm staking like Binance right now. I'm getting Binance coin. And a lot of these staking will give you at least 10% a year. So, well, there we go. I'll be making 10% on 500k or whatever. So you'll still be making a lot. Yeah, so when we come into the next bull market or the bull cycle or whatever, then you're still in the money. So that's what I probably will do. I'll probably take out a big chunk of the profits and put it into the businesses. And by the way, you've got to be careful with the businesses. So a lot of people think, oh yeah, it'll be great just to put 100 grand or 500 grand into the business. But 9 times out of 10, your business won't be able to facilitate and handle that extra surplus of income. Like, I promise you won't. Like, if you're a business owner right now and I gave you 300 grand cash, boom, it's in your business bank account right now, how would you deploy that? Again, most people wouldn't be able to deploy that. They'll be like, shit, what do I do? And then it's like, oh my God. And before you know it, you could probably use 50 grand straight away, but you've got best part of £250,000 just burning a hole in your business bank account because you can't deploy it. So you've got to be careful with business funding. Only get capital when you can deploy it. For me, it's really easy. I just bung it all into Facebook ads. It's simple. And then get 1 million more haters. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Facebook ads sometimes. So, Rachel, at the moment I sell products from pregnancy to teens, but I have a Facebook group that I'm trying to build focusing on children, charities, help all families, etc. It's a future plan that's being worked on right now to get into teaching vital skills. Nice one. Great project. Jamie, could you perhaps get the best of both worlds and put it into business for cash flow, then use some of the business profits generated from the cash investment to buy your crypto back? Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Yeah, spot on. It's great that you have. Is this the same? By the way, I know a couple of Jamies spelt that way. Is this the same Jamie that did the trading test drive that's in the free trading group at the moment? Yeah. Nice one. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so happy that your brain is thinking like this. This is all that I can ask for. You just got to get your brain thinking around things like this, and this is exactly what you should be thinking. So nice one. Rachel, growth can ruin a business if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, I agree. Right, let's see what's said on Facebook. Amanda, when do you see the stock market going down, crashing? I don't have a time frame for that. At the moment, I'm just patiently waiting. Everything's just being propped up by stimulus. So if you look at the S&P 500, it's just ridiculous. But I'm waiting for this to roll over, and then I'll be shorting the living daylights out of it. And in fact, what I'll probably do is I'll take some profits out of the crypto, bung it into my FXCM trading account, and then aggressively trade it. So, Nick KE, when do you see the next big crash? End of furlough? Oh yeah, same sort of question. I'm not sure. End of furloughs, is going to be horrendous. I've got, across the whole group, probably now 40 staff on furlough. And guess what's happened with most businesses over the last year and a half? They've pivoted. So all of these businesses are now functioning fine on a lean ship, so to speak. And they don't technically need all the furloughed staff back. It's tough. And when you got to try and save as many jobs as you can. So, I don't know, the government will probably come up with some incentive to, Rishi's not stupid. He'll know that, when furlough ends, the whole world ends. Or the UK employment scene just gets absolutely screwed. And don't forget, the furlough scheme, the biggest receivers, the benefits of the furlough scheme are civil servants. There's a huge amount of government workers on furlough. And so, the government will look after itself. So, yeah. And I am somewhat envious. I mean, I know a lot of employees who've been furloughed for over 12 months now. So they've been able to get 80% of their salary to basically sit on their ass for over a year, which is like the best opportunity you could ever ask for if you are in that position, because that is basically, you've been given a year's worth of free pay to then go and work on a side hustle. And if you are on furlough and you're not making the most of your time, then, I mean, it's not too late. You can. I mean, it's a great safety net. It's like, great, I'm getting paid to do nothing, so I'm being paid to basically set up my side hustle or whatever it may be. Chris, how do you get around paying CGT on realized crypto profits? You can't. Unless you want to be a bit dodgy and move abroad, and then do it that way. But yeah, you just got to take the hit. The tax man will be coming. You can't really get around that unless you're being a bit dodgy. Or I guess what you could do is an infinite loan. There is a workaround that, so you could do an infinity loan, is what I call it, an infinity loan. So technically, let's say magic wand, you've got 100 grand of crypto profits, and you want to take the profits out, but you don't want to be hit with CGT because depending on your rate, it's going to be 10% or 20%. So you could do an infinity loan where you basically deposit all of that crypto into Aave, like a lending platform, and then you take a cash loan I think Nexus would probably be better than Aave, because you can't take cash loans from Aave. You have to take it in a stable coin. So yeah, go to Nexus maybe, or a similar one. So you put the 100k into, let's say you got 100 grand of Ether, put it into Nexus. You then get a cash loan of say 80%. And so that money, let's say 70%, so you have a better LTV. You then got 70 grand in cash. So that cash you can then use to put into your businesses, etc. But the thing is, that cash is a loan, so you're not taxed on anything. So you've then got the cash there. And then what you could maybe do is, it depends how many levels down. You could then take that cash and buy a stable coin and then get 16% a year. But then you're sort of negating it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I think there are ways that you can go about it. By basically having a continual loan and then getting, and then you repay back the loan and then take out another loan from it, as in crypto loan. But it then gets a bit messy. Personally, I think I'm just going to take the hit. I'll just take the hit, because when I do flop over and take the profits properly, I'll be weighing up, okay, profits minus tax compared to the profits on whatever I'm going to do with it. So always, Khalid, big question, Jesus. Hi Siam, late to the live stream, sorry if we've covered this, but I saw a great thread on Twitter by Raoul Paul and Willy Woo. Raoul was talking about Ether outpacing Bitcoin. I completely agree. I think Ether will have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin, faster than people think. But Willy Woo added a great caveat that it's somewhat counter to your views around ETH being undervalued against Bitcoin. E.g., your data shows ETH being 0.1 of value, and that you could go back to that. By the way, I said that's where I'll reevaluate what I'll do. I actually think it will go higher than 0.1. Whereas Willie showed that the first 4-year cycle for a crypto asset gaining critical mass is its highest climber. It's effectively going from 0 to 1. After that, it turns into an oscillator around Bitcoin price, which suggests it may not ever get back to that ratio. Yeah, maybe. But there's a lot more value. So Bitcoin's, a lot of its value is because it's a transfer of wealth. It's an internet of value. That's what Bitcoin basically is. Whereas Ether is an internet of value and also smart contracts. And I just think when the whole world gets their teeth around Ether, or when I say the world, I say Wall Street, and I mean, they've already got the the Ether tracker in Canada, etc. And people start building stuff on top of that. I think it's got some legs to it. So I don't know. I guess it's me versus Willy Woo. I do think it will go above 0.1. So Khalid, what is possible? And by the way, we haven't had full market discovery yet, price discovery with Ether. It's so early days, it's ridiculous. It is like, early 2000s and where the internet was. Khalid, whilst it's possible that Ether will gain in value based on history, it's not guaranteed. Yeah, nothing is. But it's been lagging terribly at the moment and have missed a few key ops to form a new trend. It hasn't. I'm sharing my screen. This is where context is everything. It hasn't. Look at this. Look at the bigger picture. If you go back to early 2020, it was all the way down here. So this is Ether against Bitcoin. There's no price here. It's just a ratio between Ether against Bitcoin. And all the way back here, I said it would start moving back up. And guess what? It's gone from up here all the way to here. So you've got to maintain the bigger picture. And it's just trucking up this trend line, mate. So that is literally all it's done. It's Kobo. We had the compression. It broke out. It's pulling back to kiss it off. What's it forming here? Looks like a double bottom to me. And I think we're going to start seeing further movement upwards. So what you're probably saying is in very short term, like over the last couple of weeks, yeah, it's lost a bit of its value. But maintain the bigger picture, mate. This is the bigger picture. And what is this over here? This is a massive bottoming pattern, with this being the effective bum line, so to speak. So this is just a big accumulation springboarding. This is basically a big springboard, I see, where it's just going to launch up here. So yeah, I don't actually know who Willy Woo is, so I know who Raoul Paul is, but I think Willy is some crypto guy. I don't know his background. With a cool name like that, he's probably someone special. So yeah, right. Stuart, what is the sleeping guy about? Yeah, don't know. I don't know if everyone can see this. I know the Zoom people can. I don't know if you can on Facebook, but yeah, just having a nap. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. I can't see any other questions. Okay, let's have a look at Zoom. Basically, give your money a job. Money needs to make money. That's what's always on my mind. Money on my mind, lol. Yep. You did a great animated video on money being workers that you need. Yes, actually, I love that video. I don't know let's find it. Sorry, this video, I spent a long time making this video. I spent, where is it? Ooh, another Aussie review. I'll add that to the watch later list. Thank you. Siam Kid, what is it? Money plan? No, 8 steps maybe. Hey, this one. I spent about 6 months making this bloody video, and it only got 700 or 800 views. It's ridiculous.
Separate the enemy.
This is like in my opinion, one of the most helpful short videos you could watch. It's like literally the 8 steps you can take to attain financial independence. I'm going to share the shit out of this now. Watch it. Honestly, it's good. It will help. It really will. So let's put it in the chat box. 800 views, bloody hell. I'm underappreciated. And yes, that's my ego coming in there. So yeah, it's the 8 simple steps to attain financial independence. Siam Kid, just find it. It's a cool video. I like it. Yeah, but hey ho. In fact, with that video, I had a load of people saying, "Oh, this is a really aggressive and like what did they say? They said it's an aggressive video and too distressing to watch or something like that." I was like, "What?" And it was because it starts off with like you're being locked up in a cage, and yeah, I don't know. Some people, we can't please everyone. What's on the chat box? Chat box, where are we? I always lose the chat box. It's ridiculous. Okay, we're here. Rachel, looks like a fighting consolidation to me. Yep, yeah. Waiting for the master to arrive. Nice. Okay, Cameron, I'm seeing a lot of opinions on Cardano overtaking Ethereum and that the technology they've built has been modeled of Ethereum but refined. It's a complete... No, it hasn't. It's completely different. Cardano is completely different to Ethereum in the tech in many ways, but refined and maybe made to fast, cheaper, etc. Thoughts on ADA Ether? Yeah, ADA Cardano just has better tech than Ethereum, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. Ethereum has intense scaling issues, massive scaling issues, which Vitalik is addressing them, and the whole community is addressing, but it has scaling issues, whereas Cardano doesn't. In fact, the more users Cardano has, the faster and better it gets. I use the pizza analogy. So with Ethereum, it's like there's one pizza, and the more people that comes into the room, your slice of pizza gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Whereas with Cardano, the way that it does it is like the more people that come, like you cannot enter the room without your own pizza. And so what happens is the more people that enter the room, the more pizza there is. So yeah, I've got both. I've got Ether and Cardano. They'll both do really well. I think in the short term, we're going to see DeFi exploding, NFTs exploding, DApp platforms exploding. Yeah, and eventually when they start the war on cash, and they're very slowly starting the war on cash, but eventually they'll go hard on it. Then privacy coins will do well. So Monero, Zcash, or Zcash, etc. I saw something ridiculous the other day that I have to double check. It may have been an April Fool's. I can't remember when I saw it. I saw an article, someone saying that you should launder your money, as in you should wash your money. And I'm like, here we go. I was like, yeah. Before we know it, it'll be like, cash is banned because it transmits COVID. And what other bollocks that they can come up with. So, Nick has asked, have I heard of Omicoin? No. There's like over 9,000 crypto projects out there. Yeah, exactly, Rob. Yeah. Oh, actually, tomorrow. What did I say I was doing tomorrow? I can't remember. But there's one project which I need to do a whole live session on, and it's BitClout. I love it. I love BitClout. So, oh yeah, Age of Empires tomorrow. Thanks, Jamie. BitClout is a project which has my attention, and it's crazy. So I'm going to end it today, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of tee it up. About 10 years ago, when I was thinking about my schooling system, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a human stock market? As in, all the kids had their own share price. And so you could, buy and sell people. If someone did well in an exam, their share price go up, etc. I'm second guessing it now because I think there could be a whole bunch of mental issues that come with this. Someone shorting a kid because they know they're going to fail their exam. That could be really bad. Anyway, so I sort of parked that idea. But I've always thought it would be good to have a human stock market. So I'm looking here at Zoom. I've got Mike Easton has his, Mike Coin. We've got Mike Freeman. I've got two Mikes either side of me here. Mike Freeman and Mike Easton, hey. But you could both have your own Mike Coin, etc. Or Elon could have his own coin and, and so if you do something stupid, like hell, if you had Kanye West coin, you could short the shit out of that because he's just going to make a fool out of himself. So, you can have your own coins. And guess what? BitClout is now that. It's basically a human stock market, except it's crypto. And it's not owned by a company or a person. It's just pure code, like Bitcoin. It's out there. And it's a social media platform, so, like Facebook. So, I'm excited about it. Whether it will have traction, I don't know. I'm just hoping it does have traction because it's something like this that can take out Facebook over the long run. But yeah, anyway, I'll talk about that another day. We've been going on for an hour and 20. This is just ridiculous. Sorry, folks. These are supposed to be half an hour sessions. Stuart said Rob Moore has his own coin. Doesn't surprise me. Rob's on friggin' every platform. But mind you, he's doing well. Can't knock it. I think he's got a massive Clubhouse following now. I'm not on Clubhouse anymore. Oh, I'm on it, but I don't use it. But yeah, Rob is great at implementation. So follow his footsteps. So what was I going to say? Yeah, on BitClout you can create your own coins. Anyone can create their own coin. You set up a profile on BitClout and you've got your own coin. It's called a creator coin. But I'll talk about that and I'll make another video on this. Right. I need some breakfast. I'll see you soon. And I will, see you tomorrow. And we'll talk about Age of Empires tomorrow. Bye.